Okay, folks, James here. I'm going to do a review of my personal opinion on two different design of 1911s and a Glock. I was asked which one do I think is a better handgun, so I'll talk a little bit about the pros and the cons of each one that I'm going to show you. I'm going to start off with the first one being the Glock. Okay, this is a Glock 22 model Gen 4. It's chambered with a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson 4.49-inch barrel. Um, it's a good, reliable gun. It is a very accurate gun. Um, it's a high capacity magazine. This particular one's got 15 round magazines with it. Um, Overall, it's a good gun. I'm not going to take nothing away from the accuracy or the reliability of a Glock. So, with that being said, I'll start this review off telling you a little bit about this one that I know of. Now, I have mixed emotions about this particular gun. The first one, the pros on this gun that I really like about it is I have a 9mm barrel and I have a 357 SIG barrel. And all I have to do is remove the slide, take the recoil spring out of it, take the one barrel out and drop the next caliber barrel in there, replace the recoil spring, and put the slide back on it. It's completely chambered for a whole different caliber. All right, I can do a complete chop out in about 30 seconds. All right, the good thing about it is all three calibers for 9mm, the 40 S&W, and the 357C. All three very accurate, very reliable, um, excellent shooting. That's about all I can say that's good about the Glock. The bad things that I can say about this is far more extensive than the good. Like I said, the good thing is I can change calibers within 30 seconds to go from a 9mm to a 40 to 357 SIG. Now, the bad things that I don't like about the Glock, the first one being that it's a fixed sights, non-adjustable. They are standard, the U-shaped wide in the back, and it's got a orange front sight. Well, it's because it's got orange fingernail polish on the front. Rather than that, there would be a white dot up there on the front. But with these bad eyes that I have, I can pick the orange dot up a little bit easier between the two white on the back. All right, that's the first con, is non-adjustable sights. The second con is it's a striker fired, hammerless. I do not like that because once there is a live round chambered in this gun, there's no way to take the tension off the spring in there. Once that is pulled back and chambered into the battery, there's no way to release the tension on your firing spring, the one that releases the firing pin to slap your primer, which is that right there. The only way you can release that tension on that spring is on a empty chamber, dry firing it. With some people say it's good, some people say it's not good. You be your opinion on. No, you be the judge on that one. Okay. Con number 2. Number 3 is the trigger. I do not like this locking mechanism on the trigger. Once it is depressed all the way as far as it can go, it still don't set flush with the face of the trigger. So after repeated shooting it can, most people pull with their pad of the finger, and after a period of a few rounds squeezing this trigger, it'll leave an indentation on your finger. And after a while, it can become very uncomfortable. Now, if you're like me, I stick my finger all the way through and I pull with the front knuckle. So my finger's bent around the trigger like this. So I don't feel that little piece right there, but that's the way I shoot. Okay, that's number 3, is this little safety mechanism not sitting flush with the trigger. 4, okay, there's no way to customize the grips. What it is what it is. You can get, this particular one has the back strap. You can change it, replace the back straps on it, whatever. I have the medium-sized back strap on this one, and it does have somewhat of a little beaver tail back here in the back. Okay, I don't like the idea that I cannot change my grips. That's number 4. Number 5, and I believe this is one that really takes the cake on me, is that somewhere between $600 to $700 handgun, you should not be able to look all the way through between the slide and the frame. They should be fitted more flush, I guess you could say. So with that, to me, it tells me that there's dust and dirt and debris and everything else that can get in there amongst where all your mechanisms are. And I don't know if it will. I've never had to do it, but to me, it seemed like it could have an effect on the reliability of this particular round, of this handgun. All right. So that's number 4, is the way the slide does not come all the way down to meet the frame. Okay. Number 5 is this grip right here. My hands are big hands. Okay. As you can tell, my fingers just almost come all the way back around. It's almost as long, my fingers is almost as long as this gun is. I have some big hands. Therefore, when I grip this gun, my fingers does not go all the way down in the finger grooves like they're supposed to. My fingers actually rides up on top of the grip safeties, or the grip for your fingers. I do not like that. Okay. I don't like the idea that I can't change this. So there's your number 5. Number 6 that I don't like about the Glock is that the weight of the trigger. Okay, this is a $600+ gun. Okay, with almost a 7-pound trigger pull. This it's just really hard. And if, to me, a personal defense gun should have anywhere between 2.5 to 4 pounds. This particular one is almost 7 pounds. Means it is very, I don't know, takes a lot of effort to pull it. You know. So that's number 7. Number 8, again, back to the trigger, is it's so much trigger pull there. You got your take up, which is probably 1/4 of an inch. And once you hit that wall right there, you still have a spongy feeling right there. You still have that sponginess in it before it breaks through. So that's 7 downs to this particular gun that I can say. Really turns me off. Number 8 is the degree of the angle of the frame. I do not like that. To me, I have to kind of push the gun down a little bit further, leaving my wrist a little bit more. Instead of being up here, it's down like this to get on target with it. I don't like that feel. So that's 8. Now this is just my opinion. But 8 cons to this gun that I can sit here and tell you right off the bat that I don't like about this particular one. Number 9 is the weight of it. It's very light. And anybody knows if you're shooting 40 Smith & Wessons, it can be quite snappy. To me, it's okay. A lot of people, that 40 is just a little too much recoil or too much snap on it. But I don't care for that. It don't affect me none, but I don't care for it. if you chamber this particular one, the 22 Gen 4, with the 9mm barrel that I have, if you do not have this gun really tight in your hand when you fire it, it will fail to eject. It means it's being limp wristed. And if you get into a situation where you have to use this gun in a matter of self-defense, if you're not paying attention on how well you got this gun gripped, you can have a problem. Because once you fire that first round, you're going to have to manually eject that spent casing before you can chamber into the next round. To me, that is another negative on it. So there's 9 negatives on this gun. All right. That's enough for me to say I don't like this gun. 9 reasons that I do not like this. But we're going to add a 10th one too, just for the hell of it. There's no manual safety. Okay. In a house that has kids in it, a lot of people does not put these guns up out of the reach of a child, so a child can get access to these guns very easily. Without a manual safety on it, this gun becomes very, very dangerous in a home with children, especially when them children has not been taught the difference between the do's and the don'ts when it comes to guns. Most people just throw them up there and expect the kids not to touch them. 10 reasons right there I do not like a Glock. That's plenty for me to say I don't like it. Now, there's a lot of y'all out there that's going to say, that's good. No manual safety. You should never be carrying a gun that's not loaded and ready to be used. Fine. That's your opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. I just give you 10 opinions of mine, the reason why I don't like this. Now, them same 10 opinions of mine may not affect you. So therefore, my reviews on this gun, it's a damn good shooting gun. It's very accurate. Never no issues with the 40 or the 357. With the 9, we do have issues if you're not really paying attention to what you're doing. That's my review on the Glock. Now, we got 2 more deals for you. Next one, the mid-size 1911. All right. We're going to go over the reasons why I like this gun. Number 1 reason I like this gun is the trigger. It is a very, very short take-up. Very short. And then once you hit that wall, right there with that minimal take-up, you got 2 3/4 ounce, or 2 pound and 3/4 ounce. Or let me rephrase, 2.75 pounds, or 2 3/4 pounds. Okay. The Glock is almost 7 pounds. This 1911 is 2 3/4 pounds. There's no take up to really speak of, just a very minimal amount. The reset, very short reset, and then again right back, 2 3/4 pound trigger pull. All right, that's my number 1 reason I like 1911. 2, it has a manual hammer on it, so if I want to release the tension on that spring, just let my hammer down. Okay, simple as that. Most people say, well, it's a 1911, you're supposed to carry it with a hammer back and locked, cocked and locked. And I agree with that. In fact, that's the way I carry. But the fact of it is, I have that option. Okay, that's the second. The third reason that I like the 1911 is the angle of the grip. It just feels comfortable in my hand. Alright. Versus the Glock, I don't feel like I have to twist my wrist too much. I can just pull out and it's just natural feel. Okay. I like the idea that I can interchange grips. It's very comfortable. It's not very wide. It fits your hand perfect. Alright. This particular one is the Ford a 1/4-inch barrel. I really like this gun because another reason is it's a heavier gun. Shooting 230 grain full metal jackets out, it still has less recoil than the Glock 22 shooting 185 grain full metal jackets. Okay, that's the goods on this one. Oh, and I do like the way it looks. It just looks well. Now, there's a couple of downs to this particular 1911 design here. The first one being that it does not have a ramped barrel. Means it'll load full metal jackets fine. But when it comes to personal defense rounds, it's very picky. I've tried several different rounds, and there's only 2 rounds that I found that this gun actually will chamber very easily. One being the Hornady Critical Defense, the other one being Federal Train and Protect. The Federal Train and Protect has a little bit more cavity on the front of the projectile, but it is still got a conical shaped bullet, so it slides into the chamber very easily, and it does not require a feed round. 2, it is brass cased, so therefore it'll swell out against the chamber to eliminate a lot of your back pressure and a lot of your gases from escaping around the casing. Now, with that being said, now the Hornady Critical Defense is a nickel case, and it does not swell out against the chamber like the brass case Federal. So with the Hornady Critical Defense, I have a lot of markings and a lot of tarnish, discoloration around the nickel case, where I have back gases coming around the casings coming back into the receiver, the gun. That can pose 2 different things. One, of over time, you've got a lot of buildup on your slide and your receiver, which could cause reliability issues if you're not properly cleaning it right. And again, it could have a tendency to split a case. Therefore, it would lock up and it would not eject the case right, so you'd have another malfunction. With that being said, I stick to the Federal Train and Protect, and it is about the only one that I found that is truly reliable in this particular gun. That's the downside to this one, is it is a rampless barrel. Now, can you change the barrels? Yes, you can. Will I? No, because it shoots just fine with the Federal. Now, that's my mid-size. This is one I carry. Now, these 2, both full size. We'll start off with this one right here. This is a GI model. Oh, almost forgot. Another downside to this one is it's iron sights, non-adjustable, fixed sights. That's it. That's another downside to that. Alright, this particular one here, this is a GI model. This has a couple more cons, just like this one has. This has it too. First of the cons on this one is the beaver tail safety on the grip safety. It's not a nice beaver tail like this one here is. If you look at this one, it's got the nice little beaver tail right here on the grip safety. It does have a cutout hammer on it, but it still does have the GI trigger on it. This particular one does not. This has the factory GI style hammer, the GI style safety grip, and not have that nice beaver tail. So if you're not really paying attention, when the slide comes back, it can give you a slide bite. I don't have that problem with it, but it can if you don't train yourself with this particular style of beaver tail. However, this one is too, just like the other one, iron sights, non-adjustable. There is orange fingernail polish on this one as well as this one right here. That's because I can pick them up a lot easier on black on orange. Okay, this one does have a flash suppressor or a muzzle brake, whatever you want to call it, on this one. But this particular one here does not have a mag well like this one right here. So this is another con to this one. It's a little bit harder to get the magazine in. But this particular one is not near as picky when it comes to shooting personal defense rounds, because this particular one has a polished feed ramp in there. It's a little bit wider, a little bit more tapered off in there to allow the bullets to slide into the chamber very easily. And with nickel casings, it don't have as much bypassing gas coming back into the firing pin area in the slide up here. So that is a couple of the cons with this one. But all in all, back to the trigger, just like on the other one. Now this one has a shorter GI style trigger, where this one has more of a longer style mid-size trigger. So this one's a little bit more tedious to get your fingers on, but again, I shoot with the knuckle. So again, you have this 1911 with a feed ramp that's not near as picky as hollow point ammunition is that one over there is. So again, you have a trigger with a minimal amount of take up, and then a nice clean crisp break. The reset on it is minimal, and then there. This is another design of 1911. Now, given that both of these guns are sub $300 guns, this is made by a company called T-Saw. This one is American Tactical. This one comes from the Philippines. This one comes from Turkey. As you can see with this one, the grips are interchangeable, as well as this one. The grips have been changed out. This one has customized German silver with bronze inlays on it. Very nice gun. I like the little muzzle brake on it. It says smile, wait for flash. Now, just my little touch. This particular 1911 fiber optic front sights, fully adjustable wind and lost words. Elevation, windage and elevation, fully adjustable rear sight. Got the nice cutout hammer, got the nice beaver tail. This particular one has extended safety, and it is ambidextrous. Works off both sides. But for y'all that just has to have an ambidextrous safety, this works fine. I don't need an ambi safety because this one does not have an ambi safety on it. It has more of a GI style thumb release safety, as well as this one. They are not ambidextrous. I would never use that right side safety anyway, because I'm right-handed and my finger needs to be on the left side. With that said, this is a nice one. It's got the G10 grips on it. It's got a mag well on it. It's got fiber optic front sights, fully adjustable rear sights, cutout hammer, nice beaver tail on the grip safety on it. This one actually got a little serration on the back of it. Got the cutout trigger on it. Again, it has minimal reset, and then a 3-pound trigger pull. This particular one has a better trigger than the other two does. Very, very light trigger, very responsive. This particular one too also has a feed ramp on the barrel, therefore making this gun here and this gun here near as picky about hollow point ammunition. Now, one plus to this one, Rock Island, is it has a full length guide rod. Some people says that might be a difference than, say for instance, the T-Saw, which is not a full length guide rod. So as you can see, there is a similar difference. This one does not have a full length guide rod. This one here does. But both very reliable, very accurate. Okay, now we've went over some of the pros to the 1911 design, which I can tell you off of this one here. But this one does have a couple more cons than the full size one does. One being the ramped barrel. Okay. With that being said, I like the way the 1911 feels. I like the way it looks. I like it because it does not have that snappy recoil as the 40 Smith & Wesson does. I don't like the idea that the 357 is really snappy in the Glock. I do not like because the 9mm has a tendency to be limp wristed, so you can have a malfunction with it. So with all that said, between the 1911 design, which is the three that I just went over, one being a mid-size, the other two being full-size. One of the full-size has full-length guide rod. The other one has a standard GI style guide rod. You know, there's different configurations. The Rock Island has a more nicer finish on it. It has nicer sights on it, better trigger on it, and with all that can be improved. But with the Glock, there is 10 reasons why I don't like this gun. There's only 2 reasons I don't like this. So one, like I said, being an iron sights that's not adjustable, and the 2 being it's a non-feed ramped barrel. That's the only 2 downsides to this gun that I can tell you. 2 downfalls against 10 on this one. So you put these 2 guns side by side on a table and ask me to do a review on each one of them, and the one I like and the one I don't like. This one right here will be the one I'd pick up over this one. Now there's a lot of guys out there that's gonna go with this one before they would go with this one, simply because this is an 8-round magazine. This is a 15 to 17 round magazine. And a lot of people bases their theories off of the amount of the capacity of the magazines, but they don't look at the all-in-all sector of it. They just say, oh, a $600 plus gun versus a sub $300 gun. So you buy 2 of these for the price of one of these. But when it all comes down to it, I think that the 1911 is a better choice than the Glock. And that's just my opinion. Take it what it is. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs up. If you don't like it, comment in the section below. Let me know what you think about it. And hope y'all a good night, and y'all have a fun time shooting whatever gun you choose to shoot.